Working with Flexus on their 2020 production of All About the Fight has been totally different to working with them over the past 4 years on their touring productions. We'd planned to do the usual documentation of them performing in theatre spaces and venues over the summer of 2020, but when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, it was immediately apparent that that wasn't going to work in the same way. We discussed the options of how we could still produce something that would give the dancers and the company an opportunity to showcase their skills and the work that they do, and it was decided that a long-form video project was the best way to go. As the dancers were subject to the same lockdown restrictions as the rest of the country, the only realistic way forward was for them to film their own sections at home. These were then submitted through the creative team at Flexus and then came through to us to edit into the long-form film. This was initially a real unknown for us and the company, but from the first batch of footage that came through, it was instantly apparent that the dancers were really going to kind of make a really good job of this. The dancers were really open to taking feedback on board, looking at different ways of filming their work, doing things more creatively, trying to get movement into the filming they were doing. This collaborative process really enabled us to put something together that really does a great job of showcasing the skills that they have and their dedication to the work that they're putting together.
This has been my first opportunity to work with Flexus. I've been to watch quite a few of their productions because Matt's been involved for the last 4 years, so I found them very exciting to watch, so I was looking forward to the project. Obviously COVID-19 put a different spin on how the project ended up.
We did talk about whether this piece would become more about the COVID-19 pandemic, but it was really felt that it still needed to be the same narrative, the same story that was originally planned. All About the Fight is really about everybody having their own private battles that they have to contend with, and the COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown became another one of those battles. So instead of this becoming a piece about COVID-19 and about the pandemic, we were able to kind of weave that story within the narratives that were already there.
So usually obviously Matt is doing the bulk of the editing, but I tend to work with him on it, and because my background is really quite different to his, I can bring some creative ideas into the process and maybe suggest things that he hadn't thought of, or ways of doing it that he wouldn't have come up with. It's been really exciting to be able to have that kind of input. It's not something that I normally get so much opportunity to be involved with, so it's been really interesting.
Through weekly video meetings and regular online discussions with their creative team, really gave us an opportunity to kind of feedback to the dancers and keep that dialogue open so that they really feel like they have ownership of this film, that this is a film for them. We've just helped them to put it together, to construct it, but this is their work. The method that we used for gathering the footage with the dancers filming themselves in their homes presented some challenges and obstacles that we had foreseen some of them coming up, but others we just had to deal with as we went through the process. But when Katy mentioned that we might be able to film the last section on location, observing social distancing guidance, etc., it was a really exciting prospect, and the fact that it gave us an opportunity to bookend the whole film with some more group footage of the company working together just seemed like such a great opportunity. And the fact that we managed to do that, and the company all came together after 3 months of having not rehearsed as a group and not been able to train and practice, and they just absolutely knocked it out of the park. It was so impressive and uplifting to see them back together as a group, working as a team, supporting each other, helping each other out, and just producing movement to a standard that you would not have expected after 3 months of not being able to train and not being able to practice together.
I think Katy and the team obviously instill a real sense of of work ethic into the dancers. They're all clearly incredibly dedicated and hardworking, and that comes across in everything that they do. It came across in the footage that they sent us, and it came across when we actually spent the 2 days with them filming in Digbeth. Everything that they shot, it took them maybe 2 or 3 attempts and they'd nailed it, and that's after 3 months of not even working together as such. They've been rehearsing in isolation. So that's just, it's immensely impressive really what they're able to achieve.
That has come together to give us a really powerful ending, and to demonstrate that their dedication to fight this, to persevere, really has paid off, and it's resulted in a full-length dance film that is really powerful, and everyone involved should be really proud of the work they've done. Hopefully they've learnt a lot from the process. I think they have, and I just can't wait for people to see it.